This shirt is really wrinkly, but there's a reason for that. Today, we try and fix this song.
This is Alligator Alley.
We talk to a guy with cool hair in a very dark office. And we do some poolside PowerPoint. Why? Because this week we are continuing our journey into the differences between B2B and B2C buyers. And we're challenging the notion of 30-day free trials. All of this and more on The Loyalty Loop.
Just waiting for it to download.
Welcome to Alligator Alley, the long strip of I-75 that actually takes you from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida. And I'll tell you why I'm here in just a second. But first, I just downloaded a brand new auto-tune app and I want to share it with you.
This is Alligator Alley. This is Alligator Alley. This is Alligator Alley. This is Alligator Alley.
Look at that, I'm just like T-Pain. Now, it only took me like 18 seconds to download and install that app to make that purchase decision. All I had to do was hit the get button on the App Store and it's downloaded to my phone. But in the B2B world, few, if any, purchases take just 18 seconds. Some of those purchases take more like 18 months. And if it's not actually 18 months, it just feels like 18 months. One of the biggest differences between B2C and B2B buyers is the sales cycle itself. But let's really dive into a B2B buyer's journey for some software. Let's take a look at this guy's journey.
Don't miss deadlines. Like that is like, I'll stay up, the team will stay up all night. And I hate missing deadlines. I think that's the biggest failure any agency, even if it's one day. My name's Jason Sorotin and I run a company called Brain Bites Creative. It's a digital marketing firm in Atlanta, Georgia.
And Brain Bites Creative does a little bit of everything.
SEO, SEM, content marketing, software development, website design, traditional design, like all that kind of stuff.
Just like any agency, Jason and his team have a lot going on at any one time.
There's a lot of tasks each month that are assigned to those jobs and many different people working on it.
About a year and a half ago, Jason and his team were working on a massive web application project and everything was going well until...
And then we missed one deadline, then we missed another. And then another one came up.
Yep, you guessed it. They missed that deadline too. And Jason and his partners were not happy.
When the client emails about a missed deadline and you didn't know that that was the deadline, and you feel caught off guard and your body gets really hot and then you get really nervous and then you're like, you start panicking. I'm going to lose this, $100,000 client. I don't want to do that. Like, let's fix it. So you go into panic mode and it's very scary.
Not only does Jason hate missing deadlines,
I want to deliver early. And so we got together and decided, hey, we need to do something about this.
Well, let's pause for a second, because if you've been watching the previous episodes, you probably have identified that as Jason's moment of inspiration. And you should also notice that it's an unbelievably emotional moment, even in a B2B buying journey. Okay, back to the story. You see, Jason and his team had been using a hodgepodge of tools to get everything working at the agency, and they decided they needed a much better solution. So
we went out on the search. We went out in committees and we basically each brought something to the table and we evaluated them. And then we went through the trial periods with a few of them, which was excruciating. But then it was about like, well, you have a month to try the product and see if you like it.
And that brings us back here to Alligator Alley. Because if you've ever been handed the assignment to evaluate a series of software over the course of their 30-day trials, you are well aware of two things. One, as soon as you sign up, your inbox will be full of marketing automation emails every single day telling you how great their software is. And two, as soon as you sign up, your phone will start to be flooded with phone calls from unbelievably helpful account reps who want to make an appointment with you for a demo. I have a voicemail account, by the way, just for software trials. And that's why we're here, because you are the bait and they are the alligators. Their eyes are just hovering above the waterline, watching every move you do in the tool so that one moment they can gobble you up. Chomp, chomp. And next thing you know,
because it was all PowerPoint presentations and long talks, not really answering our questions, but just kind of showing us how it works, because they're very complicated systems and you have to have that base of knowledge. And during that month, it was very rigorous testing, as much as you can do in a month. Like software adoption like that is very challenging.
now before Jason tells us what software they chose, let's talk about free trials. And in order to do this, I want to take you here. Why are software trials 30 days? Well, if you ask me, it seems completely arbitrary. It just makes it easier for the accounting department. Giving someone a software trial of 30 days because it's easy for your accounting office is like giving someone a free trial for a snowsuit for only the month of July because that is when the inventory is high. What? One of my friends who actually works in financial services immediately told me that if you're going to buy any piece of software in a corporate environment, you need a minimum of 1 quarter to determine if any one piece of software is going to work for you. Here's the deal. Most people in the sales team are completely aware of the fact that their clients and customers and prospects are considering other software options. However, on the marketing side, this seems to be completely lost. You see, most marketers actually think of themselves as only having one slide of marketing automation. But the truth is, there are a lot of competitors doing the exact same thing. And as a result, the people in your free trial are bombarded with the same kinds of interactions over and over again over the course of just 30 days. Let me show you what I mean by getting in the water with one of these. Each one of these inner tubes is the loyalty loop experience for just one free trial. And the lazy river behind me is the 30 days you've got to actually determine if any of these pieces of software are right for your business. Signing up for one free trial over the course of 30 days is no big deal. You can cruise through the demos and phone calls and voicemails and emails from just one vendor. But add another free trial and all the interaction that comes along with it, and then another free trial over the same 30 days, and even another free trial, and now you're getting text messages and hour-long demos and phone calls and follow-ups, and you're struggling to get anything out of any of these free trials because you're spending all your time wrestling the sales alligators. And eventually, you have to start letting some of those demos expire. After this hectic month of free trials and demos, Jason and his team settled on a tool called Function Point.
We really kind of went into it blind after a month being like, we think this is the best one.
So how can we expect that in 30 days a customer or client or prospect would actually be able to know that this is the right decision for them? It makes no sense at all from the prospect's perspective. In order to build an amazing loyalty loop experience, you have to do 2 things. You need to have complete empathy for the customer at 2 points in their journey. 1, you need to understand the emotional impact of the moment of inspiration. And 2, you have to understand what everybody else is doing after a moment of commitment like a free trial. In Jason's case, that first moment of inspiration, the feeling behind missing the 3rd deadline for a client, inspired them to go on this journey. And all the free trial and sales experiences were exactly the same. Boring PowerPoint presentations and marketing automation emails that never answered their questions and didn't confine to their business needs. We need to rethink our loyalty loop experiences. After any moment of commitment, what are we doing to show our clients and customers and prospects we are different? One of the easiest ways would be to change your 30-day free trial to something that focused on the client, customer, and prospect's actual needs. Something that reflected their entire business process. And in Jason's case, wouldn't it have been great if they just did what Jason wanted?
I think like real world scenario testing and working through us on real world scenarios. So rather than like this fictitious, like, well, if you have a project, so if we would have taken one project and kind of seen it through, if they would have said, hey, let's pilot it on one project with like 7 or 8 people, I think we would have had a better idea of what we were getting into. And and I think we would have had a better experience.
All right, that's it for this week. I will see you next week in my loyalty loop.